Welcome back to the channel, or if you're new, thank you for clicking. Today we're going to be looking at the Remap Kit or the mod kit from eXtremerate. You can see I've already got one of these installed, and the nice people at eXtremerate were kind enough to send us another one so I can do a little install video. So what this does is it gives you an extra 4 buttons on the back of your controller. I'm happy just using 2. The reason you might want one of these is if you play Call of Duty, I use this to crouch and slide, I use this one to jump, and I use that one to melee and stab. If you play games like Gran Turismo, you can obviously use these ones to brake and accelerate. You could use these to go up and down a gear. You can set them buttons to whatever you want. So the same thing I'm going to do as always, I'm going to do a little unboxing to show you what's inside the box, and then I'm just going to go through the process of how you set it up. Now straight away, what you're going to need is a version 2. Now if your version 2 is less than 12 months old, you are going to void the warranty. This one is a version 1. I've had this from pretty much day 1, the night that the PlayStation 4 came out. The way you can tell is if you've got a version 1 or a version 2. The main way is this bar lights up on the top. As soon as you press the power button or the PS button, that lights up. If you look at the directional pad or the D-pad, you can see these ones are black and these ones are grey. The same with the buttons, and the same with the R1, L1, they're all grey as well. So this one is a version 1 which you cannot use. You have to have a version 2, but like I say, with what opening it up, it will void your warranty. Right, so let's get straight to it for the little unboxing. It's going to be as much of a surprise for you as it is for me. The box is just a plain box. You've got a barcode on the side there. I can't remember what colour back I actually ordered. I think it was a textured one. So this is what you get. It's in some bubble wrap. And then inside we've got the back case, because obviously you get a new back case with the holes in the back. Yeah, I can feel straight away I've got the textured one. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but you've got a textured pattern all round, and there's obviously your holes. This is what it looks like. Obviously you're just going to transfer everything over. This is probably going to be the first thing that I do actually. I'm going to get the back done and dusted. This only takes a few minutes, but the build quality is really good. You can see how well made it is. But I'm happy about that. That feels really grippy. So let's have a look what else is in the box. Get a 1-year warranty. I didn't get one of these in my card. I'll just put that a little bit closer to the camera. Hopefully you can read everything. We've got Facebook, Instagram, we've got Twitter, we've got YouTube. I don't know what the hell that is. Somebody in the comments let us know what that is. I've never seen that before. So just say share a video or a picture of your product, and then you'll get a 1-year warranty. It says defects get replaced after 3 months. And it's because when they were emailing me, it was really fast. So the rest of the stuff you get inside, or these are your buttons and your screws to put it in, and the little holders what goes in. In this one, I might as well open it up. You've got your little splicer thing. I'll move that a little bit further back. And these are just spare parts. To be honest, these things you don't really need. If I get everything out here. So you've got a little screwdriver, you've got a posi or a Phillips, whatever you want to call that. And like I say, this little splicing tool to splice it in half, but I'm going to show you a way so you won't have to use that. These are spare buttons and spare double-sided sticky tapes. This is your remap button, but I wouldn't really recommend putting this in. I'd just do it manually. The way you do it, well, I can tell you that at the end. What else we've got? That's your ribbon, be careful with that. And in the box, this is your manual to tell you how to set everything up. Inside this one is the little kit itself, or the board, whatever you want to call it, with the wires and everything. So that's what it looks like. It's only small, but that's what it is. So I'm going to sort everything out here, and then I'm going to come back in a second. I've tidied up a little bit, and as you can see, I've just organised the way I want everything. I've got my little screwdriver, my board. These are your spare buttons and your spare holders for the buttons. You get 2 of them. So the way I've set up here on the top is I've got all my 4 buttons in the order that would go in, and the button holders, I've got them on the left hand side. My screws over here, my new control pad, the ribbon cable there, and this is your little board. So first thing you want to do with your board is just separate the wires and make sure they're all separated, they're not tangled up or anything. If you look on your buttons, I'm gonna have to get this a little bit closer. If you look on your buttons, you've got these little sort of teeth or prongs that hang out. Now people say snip these off, but you don't have to snip them off. The way you can get them off is just carefully bend them. So if you just go back, forth, back and forth, and they just snap off, and that's a clean snap or break I should say. You can see I didn't put any pressure or anything whatsoever. I'll do the same with this one. So I've just pushed it back, forth, and that one came off even easier, and it's a really clean finish. To be honest, it's probably a cleaner finish than the way people are snipping them off. So I'm gonna take all them off. I've got 4 buttons obviously, so I'm gonna do them, pause the video and come back. So I'm back and that little job's finished. You can see I don't have any more metal things on any of my buttons now. I've got the little pile here. Just make sure you put them in the bin because you don't want to stand on them. So the next thing you want to do with this board, this is if you don't want to remap L1 and R3, which I don't. I'm going to spin this round the other side, and hopefully you can see down here it says L3 and R3. So these 2 wires on the bottom, I'm going to chop them off because I don't need them. Grab some scissors and then just carefully chop that one there, and then chop that one there. And then these wires, you can either keep these as spares or bin them. Personally, I'd keep them as spares. So now the board just looks a little bit tidier. Now all you've got is just the wires to your buttons. Remember, try and not get them tangled. If you do, just untangle them gently. So I'm going to put this to one side, and I'm going to open the control pad, and we're going to get straight to changing the back. Now to get in the back of these controllers, all you've got to do is undo the screws. You've got one there, one there, one there and one there. I'm not going to bore you with the video taking the screws off, so I'm going to take these out and come back in a second. When you've got all 4 screws out, just put them to one side. Mine's in a little pile here just to make sure you don't lose them or anything. Preferably have a nice little surface space that you can use like this. Now there's a few ways you can't open these. You can use the prying tool and you can stick it in the side, but the way I like to do it is I put my thumb here because there's a gap. I put my thumb here, I put my other thumb under the bottom here, and I just like to pull, and that cracks it. Same with this side. Put your thumb here underneath the bottom there, put it on this little bit, like I say, separates, and it cracks. And then all you want to do is just lift it up gently, and you'll see there's a ribbon cable inside here, just there to the left. So what you want to do is, the way I'm holding this is I've got me back here, so this can't go anywhere. I've pretty much got hold of it. So this ribbon cable here, all you want to do is get your fingers and just gently wiggle it out. Don't be too hard with it, just wiggle it out, and then that comes apart. So this part is the main part with your buttons and everything. I'm going to put this to one side, and we're going to focus on this. We're going to change the back out. So first thing is this little black piece. Just take that off and put that down there because you don't need that anymore. Now to remove these come out from the right to the left. So under here you might need to prise something up, but that just lifts up. I'll do that again a little bit closer. Put something under here and just lift that up, so that comes up on one angle, and then it just comes away like that. This white bit just comes off and that just falls out. Now for this you'll need a little screwdriver to go in there. This black tape, just pick that off, you don't need that, but put a little screwdriver in there to take this off, because this is obviously your charging port. So give us a second and I will take that off. I've undone this screw. I haven't taken it out because I'm going to try and show you as much as I can. So this little screw, just put to the side, and this, if you just put your nail or something underneath it and just gently prise it up, it will come up like that. The reason it's sticking is just that black tape, but I've just left it on. So if you grab the new one, this is the one that I've been sent out, and then you just match that up. Tell you what, this black little tape, I'm going to take it off and I'm going to put it back on in a second. So this is your USB port. If these ever break, you can buy these on eBay for like £2. It's a common fault for these to break. So all you do is put that in there and line it up with the little screw. I'm going to put that black tape on in a second, but obviously put that screw back into there. So I'll put this in, bear with us a second. There we go, the screws back in. I'm going to put that little black piece of tape just over there, the way it was. It was over the screw a little bit. It might just be to stop dirt and stuff going in the back, because there is a tiny little gap on the charging port, so that's what that looks like there. And just make sure the charging port is lined up. Now you're just going to do a reverse order of the way it all came apart. Put that back there, just make sure that's pressed in there. This goes from left to right, so it goes left to right, and then there's a little bit that holds it in. Press that down. And the same thing for this, it goes in the left hand side way and press down from the right, and that's what that'll look like. That's probably the easiest part. That's why I always do this first on stuff like this. Like I say, the charging port, if that ever breaks, that's how you fix one. So let's move on to the rest of the kit. This is going to be the trickier part for you, because obviously there's a lot more stuff that's involved here. So first thing is first, you want to take the battery off. The way you do that is with this little bit what's plugged in. So the way I like to do it is just get my nails and sort of squeeze in and wiggle out. Never pull the wire, because you don't want to pull wires out. So like I say, just squeeze in there, pull it out, and that releases your battery. So move that to one side. Now all you've got is in the center there, you've got a screw. So we'll take that out, it just takes 2 seconds. One thing I really should have says for the charging port, when you put that screw back in, make sure it's nipped up but don't over tighten it. Now this just comes straight off. That's just, like I say, the battery holding case. I'm going to put the screw back in there so I know them two are together, and I'm going to put them to the right hand side. Now this is what it looks like, your board. So first thing you want to do is the ribbon cable here. This is for your trackpad. Just put your finger in there and gently ease it up. There we go, that's up. And then I like to straighten that, so when I pull this forward it goes through there. So I'm gonna push that down a little touch, make sure it goes through there, which it has. And there we'll have it, that's separated. So we'll just leave that bit there, and now we've got this. Now to separate this board from the back, there's a little tiny plastic bit what you pull to one side there, and you've got one of them on both sides. You've got one on this side and that side, but it's just up here, and then that'll release your board. There is videos of people and they've taken the analog sticks off, but there's just no need to take them off. Another thing what people are saying on videos is you need to put double-sided sticky tape on this, but you really don't. Now there's really only one way that you can put this in. I'll put it in the wrong way first. So I'll put this. So if I put that there, it's blocking the hole for the touchpad to come through, so it can only go one way, which is that way. So the way I'm going to do it, tell you what, I'm going to get this a little bit closer so you can see a better view. If you can see there, that goes over here and it goes in the 2 little holes. So I'm going to gently put them in. Come on, holes, go in. So that's in the 2 holes, and then now all you want to do is put this over the top of it like so, and it clicks into place. But you can see what I mean. If this was on that side, you wouldn't have this little hole for the trackpad to come through. So that's what that should look like, and that's pretty much it done. Now all you want to do is just get the trackpad ribbon back through here. Now I've seen people use tweezers and stuff like that, but it will come through itself. If you, I'll put this here for a second, if you make sure this is straight, just give it a little nip with your fingers gently, that should just push through here. So in theory, if I get the hole right, give it a little bit of a wiggle. Come on, wiggle, 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 wiggle. With there. This has come up. It has worked, but it's done it the wrong way. It's the way I didn't want to do it. So there. So now all you need to do is push this back into here. So gently push the ribbon back into there. Make sure it lines up. And there we'll have it, that bit's done. So that is pretty much the hardest bit what you need to do on the full thing. Now we're just going to do a reverse of what we've just done. I'm going to put this back on here, just line it up. You've got little holes here what do line up, so you just put that on top of there, and then put the screw back in here. So if you bear with us a second, I'm going to tighten this up. That's tightened up, but be careful when you put this in, just nip it up, don't over tighten it, because obviously it's the board behind. You just want to be really careful. Now what you want to do is focus on your little board what you've got, which is over here. You can plug this in first if you want, but the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to plug that in after. I'm going to get these wires set up for which way I want to set them up, and I'm going to put them in. The way these go in is quite simple. You just put them on the corners whichever way they go, push them down, and then put the top bits on. So I'm going to organise these which way they do come, and then I'll come back in a second. hopefully you're going to be able to see this. I'm going to have to be really careful. I haven't got these screwed in or anything. I'm just putting them the way they do go. So the blue one, you can actually see on the buttons it's got names, so you know which way you're putting them. They're not going to be upside down. So the blue one is on the left, the green one is on the right. I think that's orange, or could be gold, I don't know. So that one goes here, and then that one's red. The red one obviously goes on the outside. That one's popped out a little bit. So what you want to do, I've got these in order. So this one says HK3. Don't know if the camera will pick that up or not. So HK3 is the blue one, and that just goes up here. So I'm going to be careful with that wire, and that's how that goes in. And if you listen, I'm clicking that back button. So I'm going to put the 2 screws in there and come back in a second. That's the first one done. You can see there now. That one, hopefully you can see that says HK3. And like I said, the blue is on the out hand side, and then I'm going to go for this one next, which is HK4. And the one up here is HK1, and that one is HK2. So I'm going to continue with the rest of this and get all these screwed in. I've tightened everything up, and hopefully you'll be able to see everything if I pull this a little bit closer. We've got HK3, HK4, HK2 and HK1. So the blue is obviously on the outside, the green is on the inside. This, it might even be pink on the inside and the red on the outside. When you put these screws in, make sure they're pretty tight, because obviously you're going to be pressing these all the time. Now on the board here, if I can put this a little bit closer, on the bottom there it says LED. So on the other side of here we actually do have an LED. The way this works is when you've got it in remap mode, this, you'll see the LED through it. It glows blue. It'll flash when it's syncing it up to whichever buttons you want. So obviously you're going to have this lined up with that. I've moved this ribbon out the way a little bit, and this last one with the tin foil on is your remap button. So when you do put this down, you just want to peel that off and put it wherever you want. But like I say, I'm not really a massive fan of that. I prefer to do it manually by pressing L1, R1, down and X, and then that puts it in the remap mode. So what we're going to do is now is I'll put this controller here. Now the ribbon on here, you can see that side's black, and the other side has got the connector on it. So that's the one that you want putting into the connectors on this. So the way we're going to do it is, if I hold this like so, so I've got the stickiness here, and then all I'm going to do is just lie this on top of the other control pad with the back buttons, and then I'm just going to place that into here, get it lined up, and then all I do is shut the little latch on there. So there's a little tiny catch, you can open it with your finger or close it with your finger. So that's that. So now what I'm going to do is peel this stickiness off, turn this over and line it up with the little hole on the back. I hope you can see this. So I've got it like that. I'm going to twist this round a little bit, like I say, try and get the LED so it lines up. If I twist this over a little bit, this is the only little awkward bit. I'm trying to, on my own I can do it fine, it's just when I'm doing it on camera, it's just really hard to get a good viewing angle for people. So I'm lining that up with the LED. I'm moving this a little bit closer, and then I'm just pressing down. So I'm going to flip this over, so I've got it like this, and like I say, hopefully that is on the LED. I think it is, I'm pretty confident it is. And then I'm just pressing that down a little bit. This one, you know what, I'm going to try and come a little bit closer. So that's what it looks like. The LED should be on the back here. That ribbon will just be like that. Now all you want to do is connect your battery. So get your battery, place it on top there, and there's only one way this can go in, and then just press it down, and then that's your battery plugged in place. And then the last thing to do is the ribbon cable into that one. So the way you want to do that is just fold this over a little bit like that, pull the ribbon cable towards you. This one, how am I going to get this on a good angle? This one, just fold it a little bit towards you. Don't worry, you're not gonna break it or anything like that. Pull that a little bit towards you, and then this ribbon cable put into there. If I can, I'll do it on camera. Now I cannot really show you. But, if I come from this angle and then just gently push that in there. Come on. Can't bloody see. Right, there we go. We're in. We're rocking and rolling. Everything's done. I'm gonna push this in there. Just make sure everything's snug. Everything should be. Make sure nothing's catching, and then just gently shut the case, and everything should go together, which it does. You can hear there. Yeah, I'm just double checking. The corners, these go like sort of under, so I'm gonna pop that out again, and I'm gonna go downwards and then upwards. Yeah, that's better. That's better. And then now all you want to do is just put the screws in. Squeeze these a little bit. Squeeze it a bit, and then put the screws in. Do you know what? I apologise. I'm gonna quickly take this apart again. Just here. And if you look, I forgot to take the sticker off. So I'm gonna quickly take that sticker off. I'm gonna put it on here, and then I'm gonna close everything. Right, there you go. Stickers off. You can place this wherever you want. I'm just gonna put it around about there, so hopefully you can see that's where it is, and I'm just going to make sure that's still lined up, which it is, and then I'm going to close everything and put the screws back in. Everything's put back together, and as you can see, it looks really good. I'm really impressed with the red and black. It looks really nice. So I put all the screws back in, make sure these are nice and tight, and the moment of truth is to press the PlayStation button. Make sure your lights comes on the trackpad and up on the top. So I'm going to press it. You've got the light on here flashing and the one on the back. To get it into remap mode, all you do is put your finger to wherever you put the foil, and this will turn blue. There we go. And then to assign a button, you hold the button and you hold the back button, whichever one you want. It'll flash 2 or 3 times, and then to go out of remap mode, just do the same thing by holding it. If you want to do it manually, you press L1, R1, down and X, so you hold all these together. You look at the back and you'll see they turn blue, and that's when it'll be in remap mode. Now, to add the buttons to the back, you've got this one, which is K4. Don't know if you can see there, but that one says K4. And then all you want to do is put it on here, line it up. Oh, I've knocked me GoPro there. You want to line it up. They're a little bit awkward sometimes. And then we'll have it. That one's snapped into place. Do the same with the other side. And that one's in place, and that one's in place. If you want, you can't put these ones in, but I'm not really a fan. I'll tell you what, I'll put these in 2 seconds. That's all the back buttons in for you, just so you can see what it does look like. I've got K1, K2, K3 and K4. Not sure if you can see, but that's what it looks like. So you can have whichever ones you want. Like I say, I just prefer using the back 2, and that's good enough for me. Now to remove these, all you do is just put your finger there, lift up, and they just pop straight off. Same with this side, put your finger underneath and take it off. Now if you are interested in one of these, I'll leave the link in the description. If you want to know anything else, if you get stuck with these, I'm always happy to help. Just leave us a comment, and thank you for watching.